This is Coaching Greatness.
One coach, one moment, one message, and one book to change your life. Let's dive in right now.
So, Dave, it is fun to get a chance to interview you. We talk often, but this is my chance to grill you a little bit and get some
Oh boy.
insight and some things that I think will be valuable to the people listening. First of all, congratulations. You are a second-time best-selling author.
Thank you. And it's, ladies and gentlemen, I got to be honest with you, it's due to this lady right here. So no public pronouncement of anything that I've done. Thank you, Kelly Watson and Greg Justice and Scriptor Publishing, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that so much, Dave. You know how we love what we do. But I'm curious, actually, because in this instance, you wrote a chapter. The first time you wrote a full book. Can you share just a little bit about the difference that you experienced between just writing a chapter, being part of this collaboration, versus doing it on your own?
You know what's fun and very therapeutic, for lack of a better term? If you're writing a whole book, you're somewhat all over the board, so to speak. There's a lot of ideas going in and out. And do you have enough or not enough? And did you write and emphasize, the right things? You write a chapter, you're pretty focused, and you're able, I think, to script out, no pun intended or reference there, but you're able to script out precisely what you're trying to achieve in the context of the subject matter. And my subject matter, I'm just very adamant about the business, the position, and the person. And I find it a little bit liberating, yet a little bit stressful, because you're trying to drill down and make it meaningful as opposed to a few hundred pages. So that I think for people that want to be writing and just maybe are not sure how to go forward, nice introductory way to do it. If you're interested, don't have to do it that way, but certainly it was a different challenge for me. And because I was writing on one thing, I was able to really hammer, I think, quickly what I wanted to do and walk away and go, that's great. You write a whole book, you're going to be analyzing that for months
Or years?
or years, to
Yeah,
your
there's
point.
always more to edit, right? I always say the editing
Right.
process is unending. So I love that. Pros and cons of being able to dial in, but also having to dial in and really make sure that you're making your
Yeah.
point. So let's talk about your point. You talked about the triad, that was your chapter, and share just a little bit about those points that you were making and what your chapter's about.
At a really high 30,000 foot level, you're always, and I'm talking about people primarily in business, perhaps people that own business, but you're first of all, no particular order, which I just lied to you. I'll get to the end and say I'll tell you what order it is. But you're talking about the business and what's significant for the business and how you ought to look at it, and the goals that you set for, the goals that you set for yourself with the business. That is its own, shall we say, book or project. The second thing to look at is the position. You hold a position in the company. And within those terms, what are your duties and responsibilities? And I think it's, oftentimes unfortunate that that's not really drilled down, I think, at a level and then re-examine on a regular basis. I don't know that it has to be monthly or even quarterly, but maybe semi-annual or annually. And then the third issue, which I always find is the most important, and I say this especially for men, because we tend to merge our role, R, with our I, identity. And that's not exclusive to men. And the question always becomes, can you, for purposes of your life goals, separate yourself from the first two? And, why do I say that? Because if you can figure out how to build a foundation and work from abundance based upon who you are and what you want, it's going to make your position better. It's going to make the business better. So the most important attribute to me, or acknowledgement or test, is let's start with you and what are your skill sets? What do you do best? As Dan Sullivan would say, what is your unique ability? But find that slot. And to go into that a little bit more, I don't know that some of the celebrities who go to graduate programs that say follow your passion are wrong. I think they've got part of it there. But what I found with people the ones that are the happiest, the clients that I've been with, when they find their unique ability, will find what they uniquely can do, their passion follows. I'm not sure it's the other way around. By analogy, somebody pointed out to me, if you're 5'2" and want to be in the NBA because that's your passion, probably ain't going to work out. For myself, I wanted to be a hockey player. So I played a little in high school and college until I went up against guys that were in the show, and they showed me very quickly it wasn't going to happen. So I knew I had to go do something else. So can we find that for you? Can you determine that? I think from there, everything flows.
So good. And you know that I am completely in sync with that and have that same feeling of finding what is important to you, but also what is your unique gift. Dave, you have spent a long time in the legal profession, and you recently, as your unique gift is coming out in a new way, created a new business for yourself as you're rewiring into a whole new stage. Share a little bit about what you're doing now and how you're using your unique ability to build this new business and help people in a new way.
So I posted this on LinkedIn recently. I have gained a certification called a CEXP, which is a certified exit planner. Okay, that aside, here was my thought process. Over the years, I've done a lot of work in corporate commercial spaces, and really in the last 14 years, longer than that, done a lot of work in the merger and acquisition space. And what I found over time is in any business, and the business people know this far more than I do, there are various component parts that you have to bring to the table: an attorney, an accountant, evaluation person, insurance, lender. It goes on and on and on. But they all kind of work in their own silos, and they work towards their own individual skill set. And oftentimes, as one of my clients said to me, Dave, you try to fit into our model. Everybody else wants us to fit into their model. And so it became pretty obvious to me, especially over the last few years, if I could gather up people as a team to meet all of these expectations, specifically in the area of succession planning, exit planning, mergers and acquisitions, invariably that answers a lot of questions for very, very busy people. And I've always had that in the back of my mind, and I've launched my business, DS Strategies and Consulting, LLC, to deal with it. As I posted it, someone had to figure out how to put it all together. I decided it was me. In the words of, what was it, Stokely Carmichael, you're either part of the solution or part of the problem. How about that for people from the 60s? And I'm going back that far. But it's always been there. I go like, okay, I'm going to go out and start working on it and try to bring a group together through an entity known as Business Enterprise Institute. They've created models for me and outlines, and that's what I'm doing because they have the same philosophy about bringing people together to get the solutions that are needed without having to dial up 24 different, exaggerating, individuals to achieve that result. And to keep everybody on the same track, going down the same road for the same budgeted amount, so that the product is known, the results are known for a price that's negotiated up front.
There you go. And I think, one of the things that I respect about you, many things, but one of the things that I respect about you is that you understand the value of people as you've described, that you understand that human connection is important. And you also have an awareness and a belief in coaching and having people to help you to bring out your uniqueness, but also to help build what you're trying to build or to make connections that you want to make. Can you share a little bit about your philosophy around coaching and maybe one or two of the coaches that you've had in your life that have made an impact?
Absolutely. So, and part of this was brought to my attention by a gentleman by the name of Chuck Williams, who was general counsel for a company called Performance Contracting Group, probably 24 years ago. And he said, you're a holistic attorney. And it took me a long time to try to understand. And some other friends refer to me as the doctor, and other friends don't refer to me as an attorney. And I didn't understand that. And I was almost kind of offended. And they said, oh, no, you don't understand. We don't like attorneys. You're a human being. So know that that's where I'm coming from. I kind of look at things at a bigger in a bigger picture that way. But I had to have that brought out of me. Okay. And so I've done something called the Strategic Coach with Dan Sullivan. I did something called Sandler Sales Training with Dick Brooks. I have been working with Todd Durkin, who's an amazing coach based in San Diego. And the reality is this, I refer to it, as you know, as the pickle jar effect. I believe that everybody resides in their own jar, a pickle jar, and there's a label on it. And everyone else that you look at is in that jar, and they can see that label, and you understand what they're doing, and you can't see your own label. And so whether we like it or not, whether you're like me, maybe a big personality, high confidence level per my mother, all of that being said, you don't see everything. There are some blinders you have to have in place. So I chose someone to help me with very strategic, high level planning. That was Dan Sullivan. I chose someone to help me on how do I reach people in a better way, tell them what I'm about. So I go to Dick Brooks. I go to Todd Durkin to say, I think I've got something here, but help me complete the project. He's really stage 3 of my professional existence. Help me put it together, introduce me to good people like Ellie Watson and Greg Justice. How can I make this meaningful? Ultimately, when you get maybe a little more mature in life, you finally figure out it's how you can be in service to people and put together a program that demonstrate the value you can bring, because it is valuable, and you can offer it up in such a way that people want to accept it. At the end of the day, if you bring huge value, the money comes. But try to, in all aspects of life and business, that money is a byproduct. Let's create the great product, the service, the opportunity that we solve people's problems and achieve the interests, those goals that they're trying to obtain. If you can do that, and that's hard, that's an everyday deal. But if you can do that, then you've accomplished something. I saw that with some of my clients, specifically a couple here in town that have, said, Dave, I got to still have a relationship with you because I don't know if you're my attorney, but I know you're my mentor. And that, it stuns you when you hear that. And I don't see that in myself. There's a path there with people like Todd, with you, Greg, help me stay on the course, make sure I'm going to true north, make sure that I find opportunities, help me to figure out greatness and how I can coach people, inside or outside of the framework of the law firm.
And you led me right to the question that I wanted to ask, because you've had great coaches, but the name of the book is Coaching Greatness. What does that actually mean to you? Coaching greatness. What does that mean?
Well, it's not about the individual coach. It's about drawing it out of other people. The significance of coaching is to find the key to help unlock people so that they can become great. That's how I see it. That's why Todd has his first half of the book. That's why he's brought in all these other people. He could have written it all by himself. But I think what he's doing is bringing people to the table that have a wide background. You're going to find someone or something or an idea that you can really, really resonates with you, and you can use that to achieve your greatness. So it's not about Todd, anybody else, the authors, or myself. It is about what can we put into play to get you to where you want to go. And candidly, we're a great coach.
Well said. Well said. If people are interested in following you, finding out more about you, go ahead and share how they can connect with you.
As long as you're not part of any type of law enforcement agency, you can reach me. That was a joke, ladies and gentlemen. So I have a website called www.davidseitter.com. It'll tell you quite a bit about what I'm doing in the space dealing with owner planning, succession planning, business continuity planning, exit planning, M&As, that sort of thing. You can also find my book, Quiet Plans, Exciting Results, which is available on Amazon. Obviously, Coaching Greatness is there. And then I have a podcast called Show Me the Way, where I interview people, mainly people going through some type of transition or succession, or those people that help individuals. A lot of it is in the space of a merger and acquisition, either buying or selling the experiences. But I think it really becomes more a question of people on a journey and some of the things that they're discovering and how they have dealt with it and then can reveal themselves to you so that you can learn. So those are some of the ways. There'll be some more things coming out, but for right now, that will probably give you more than you will ever want to know. Thank you very much.
Folks, I will put all of that information down in the show notes below for any of you that are interested in following what Dave's doing. Dave, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to talk with you. Thanks for sharing your wisdom and your experience and your passion for what you're doing. Appreciate you.
Thank you, and I appreciate you, and I will not do a Scottish accent. Sorry about that, Graham. I'm going to hold back. That's Kelly's husband.
That's exactly right. Thanks so much, Dave. We'll talk soon.
Thank you.